Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
From home, honey.
Hey everyone, it is 7 in the morning. I'm on my way to work bright early today. My car is completely packed full of stuff that I've been picking up over the weekend. I do these videos where I go buying. Eventually it has to make its way to the store or to the auction. In this case, everything's coming to the store. I have a whole lot of work ahead of me. So let's head off to the store. Let's get everything set up. It's gonna be a busy day, but I'll show you what I've been picking up over the last few days. This is kind of the mess I got at the store right now. We've got a pile of things that I picked up over the last couple days. Over here and over there. And I have a full store already. I have to figure out where everything is gonna go so people can actually walk around in here. But first things first, I guess I'll just pick a pile and start going through it. I guess I'll start over here. This case was in the basement of a lady's house the other day. This was there, and I thought, nice little tin suitcase. And what's inside? All these paperback novels, you know, from back in the day. Kiss Me Deadly and Poison Ivy. All these great sort of books. And we have had these in before, and they do sell. They are, you know, typically from the 1950s, these sort of dime store novels. And, you know, a lot of famous authors did books in these sort of series. So sometimes you can find, you know, like an original Streetcar Named Desire or who knows what mixed in here. But anyway, they've got really interesting art on a lot of them. The Devil Drives. Anyway. We've got a whole selection of those. I'm going to have to find space for. I might just leave them in this tin and just put a price per each on it and put it in the back somewhere on display. That'll be easy to get rid of. In here, you can probably tell what this is. It's an old typewriter, Smith Corona Clipper. Canadian. We have a lot of made in Canada stuff here, which is a little bit more unique. What's cool about this, look, it's got the airplane on it. You can see that there. It's got a nice little airplane sort of graphic. Cool typewriter, enameled keys. It's probably about $100 or so typewriter. We'll put it with the other typewriters. I'm getting quite the collection of typewriters too. I just keep piling them up, but they keep selling. So as long as I keep selling, so here's my little selection of typewriters going on over here. As long as these things keep going, we'll keep bringing them in. But I am getting kind of a little stack of these here. But at least it's with its fellow typewriters for now. Keeping Zoltar company, which I don't have turned on right now because otherwise he's going to be talking to me the whole time. He's a chatty guy, that Zoltar. Okay, I got to go put these books away. So we get this little stack gone. Then I'll worry about that one where the wagon is. The next little pile, we got a lantern whose shade has come, the top's come a little bit loose on it. See if I can get that fixed and adjusted. That should sit in there a little bit better than what it is. Let's see, is there a groove for it? I'll get this sorted out here, get the lid down on it. What's neat about this one is that this is a railway lantern. This would have been on a caboose, and it's marked CPR, Canadian Pacific Railway. CPR and many train lines would stamp their name. So if you see an old lantern, this little round style, or sometimes the big black ones, a lot of times they'll have the name of the train outfit that they were with stamped right in the top. So it's kind of a neat little piece of railway history, and it's still got the burner in it, so you could actually use that as a lantern, hang it on display or use it. And this was an incredibly heavy box because it's all sat irons. It looks like somebody must have bought this at auction at some point, because there's an auction lot number on here. But there's a nice Coleman enamel steam iron, and that is the rest for it. And sometimes these little rests are actually worth more than the irons themselves. The irons are pretty common, but there's the handles. I'll see how many of these I can put together and make sets. And we should be able to get these out for sale. Some are a little better than others. I was going to say cooler, but when you're talking irons, you can't say that's the opposite of what you want them to be. That one's got a little bit of damage to it. Kind of a fancy looking wrist there. Neato, okay. Well, I'll get these guys priced. And if you don't know how these worked, the idea was, I'll see if I can do this proper, that you would clip your handle on. You'd have a few of these on your stove getting them hot. And when you had one that you felt was ready, you'd put your handle on it. You'd iron with it and leave that as your rest. You keep ironing, and then you put it back on the stove, switch it out for the next one that was heating up. So it has this little quick release on the handle. A person might have 3 or 4 of these even going at a time, so there was constantly one hot. It just depended on how much stuff you had to iron, I guess. But that's good thing my foot wasn't down there. You got to make sure it's clipped in really good too. Anyway, that's how a sat iron works. Not really practical unless you're using a wood stove or something nowadays, but they are kind of collector pieces, and some people collect them based on the name, the type of handle. Yes, there's collectors for all sorts of things, and sat irons are one of them. Next up, it's this clutter that's over by the wagon. We've got a Coleman lantern, missing its globe. You can get replacement globes. It's got a dent in it though, which is not great. Let's see, what year is this from? 1948. They're always dated at the bottom. I don't know if you can kind of see it there. It says 48 right at the bottom underneath the night. Anyway, if you look close enough, you can find a date on most Coleman lanterns. So that's just after the war. That'll be a parts unit for somebody. Not worth a heck of a whole lot, but still worth saving for parts. We've got a vintage style telephone. It's not actually antique. It just looks like it's old. But cute home decor. You can actually use it to make phone calls on. I'll get it untangled here and get it set up. There we go. Judging by the looks of this and kind of the pattern and the way it's built, I would say that's a 1970s replica. Just a decor piece of an earlier, 1900s, well, 20s sort of phone, tabletop phone, but that's okay. It still looks cool, even being from the 70s. Somebody will still buy that thing. Well, get the cord wrapped up and put it on the shelf. Heck, maybe I'll even use it as a phone in the store. You never know. I don't often buy new things when I'm out looking for antiques, but this is a newer decor item, but it was just so cute. It's just a little bicycle clock. I thought, how neat is that? And we have a bike path right by here, so we'll change the battery out, get it working again. We'll hang that up. I'm gonna set the little wagon up over here for now. I'm going to use it eventually for merchandising some toys and stuff on. That's why I picked it up. But I don't really have space for it yet. I will soon, as soon as the other side opens up. Well, there goes the phone. I should answer that. And then I'll show you what's in this little case. I knew looking at this that it was either gonna be a shaving kit, like an electric razor, or maybe a clock. And it was a clock radio. Popular back in the 1950s and 60s, travel clocks and travel radios were kind of all the rage. This one's neat because it's got a little transistor pocket radio built right in with your alarm clock. So not only could you, take this with you traveling, you'd have your clock, you'd have your music with you. You could take it to the beach too. Delphonic, what a great name. And you can tune and get your station. I'll have to try some batteries in it. The clock I can see is just a wind up, so that part's nice and easy, but it likely takes a 9-volt battery. And yeah, look, they didn't leave it in. If you leave your batteries in, folks, you get fuzz and corrosion on the contacts. It can stop it from working. Nobody left a battery in here, so I would probably guarantee this thing is in working condition. It even has a little sticker on there from when it was checked out, so pretty much like new. It's a really cool little item, and still, I guess, practical if you wanted to take it with you. You could take this to the beach, take it to your hotel, whatever. Anyway, it's a fun little thing. There's a couple things down here. One is actually useful to me in the short term. I needed a new antenna for my old Meteor. So that is a car antenna. It appears to be in good shape, so I'm going to keep that aside to actually put on my car. This, on the other hand, this funny looking contraption, maybe you can tell what it is from looking at it. If you saw this lying in a barn or lying at a farm site, you might wonder. But this would clamp onto a table or a board, and it would sit upright like so. When you get it spinning, there, it kind of sits like that. This spins that little wheel, see there, at high rotation. It is a sharpening stone. Now you can see it's got a bit of a mark on it, so it's only useful on part of the sides, but it is a cool piece of early technology and still somewhat useful. See how it's got this flat side, so you could do saw blades. You could also put your knife in here and sharpen your knife. So that's an early sharpening tool. What I like about it, it's got some of the original paint. It's got this very smooth working mechanism, but more than that, it's just a cool piece of early industrial art, really, is how I look at it. Just a really, really cool thing. The basket, well, and there's a clock here too. Just always like picking up old 50s kind of clocks. Always kind of fun to look at. The basket is full of these little hand-painted figures. There's a whole set of them, and they were picked up in Mexico back in the 1960s or 70s, and it would have been a tremendous amount of work for somebody to have put all these together and to painted them all. I don't know their specific background, and perhaps somebody watching does, but it looks like offerings. You know, one person's got a bird and angel wings. The other one has loaves of bread, but beautifully painted and beautifully sculpted little things. I'm sure this little bit of art here is going to look nice up on a shelf, especially considering there's a whole set in that basket. So yeah, everything from mechanical stuff to little bits of art. You never know what's going to be lurking around in somebody's basement, but I thought it was so cool. Plus, I get a picnic basket out of the deal too. In this little variety of stuff, some of it came from my pick the other day, like the Screaming Demons Daredevil Dragout set. Others I picked up the other day, like the sailor hat, because why not? Some things aren't maybe all that valuable, but they really speak to me. This one is 1960s era little suitcase. Kind of has that Barbie kind of feel, like it's that vinyl, but cleaned up, that's a cute little thing. You know, I might just display that with some of the soaps and some of the other items. Just a nice little display item. This is one of those other items that I thought was cute. It is a Ukrainian grandma cookie jar, and she's got her wooden spoon, probably about to make cookies. Partly Ukrainian myself. I look at things like this and it just reminds me of something maybe my great grandma would have had. So really cute, and we'll put that up for sale. Sometimes little boxes like this can carry some interesting things inside of it. So I felt it was heavy when I opened it up. What was inside? Watches. Piles and piles of vintage watches that obviously some need repair. I'm going to dump this out and see if there's any good ones in here. All it takes is just a couple of good ones, even for parts or for, you know, to use as a project, or maybe there's some that even run in here. I'm going to dump them out and see what we got. Going through, it's a lot of kind of generic and some decent Swiss watches, but they're all in need of some major repair, some old Timexes, which are kind of a dime a dozen. But you never know when you're going to find that one little gem. Now, I didn't find movement per se, but I did find this, and I could tell right away from looking at it that that is a World War II era Rolex watch case. How do I know? Rolexes have a splined back on them. See that? It's splined. You need a special tool to open it, which I have. And on the inside, it says RWC, Rolex Watch Company. So I can look up the serial number on here and figure out exactly what year this would have been from. I'm guessing 1940s. But that could be even like a $500 watch case mixed amongst all this kind of garbage. Definitely worthwhile looking. When I'm looking for records to buy, I'm looking for stuff that's fun or iconic or, you know, just albums that are going to sell in general, like Johnny Cash and Kiss. But sometimes we come across records like this. What is happening here? It's Uncle D Talks with Charlie and Sheila. I can only imagine how awful or hilarious this must have been. Made worse probably by the fact, and I know it's not, looks like the Necronomicon. Of course, it's probably Bible stories or something like that, but you know what? That's still pretty darn creepy in my mind. That's not gonna reach out to the kids, Uncle D. But that shirt reaches out to me. That's a bold pattern for a puppet. Pattern on pattern, pattern shirt with pattern tie. Now that is some real fashion going on there. She's a little bit more conservative. She's married a showboat of a puppet. That's what she's done. Anyway, you get the weird records in the mix sometimes too. That one just made me laugh. Or look at this. The James Bond Thrillers by the Roland Shaw Orchestra. Now, I know they're trying to go for the whole Bond girl thing here, but you know what? That's not what's caught my attention on this album cover. What caught my attention was, there's 3 girls there, yes, but why do you need a gun here? None of these women look like they're gonna, you know, attack you. You don't look overly concerned yourself. And even if you aren't after, these aren't the people you're chasing with that gun, you've got 3 witnesses, James Bond. What were you thinking? What a terrible idea. You really seem to be overdressed for whatever party you're at. But also, who brings a gun to a party? That's just going to ruin the mood for everyone. Anyway, crazy weird album cover. I don't know what they thought, like what was the scenario was happening here. The goofy stuff that you find when you buy a stack of records. Check this out. 1960s era Lafayette 80-in-1 kit. You can make all sorts of cool stuff with this. In fact, there was a time I was looking for something like this for Jason. He really likes to invent and build things. And kits like this were just a great way for kids to use their imagination. Now, you can see it's got the original batteries in here. That one's still sealed. This one has gone south in a hurry. That's why you don't leave batteries in things. I was talking about that earlier. That is now garbage. This kit, though, would date to probably, like I said, the 60s, and it is nice that it's pretty well all complete. Get this all packed up and set aside. Used to think these were really cool when I was a kid because you could build pretty much anything you wanted and make it work. If a person's interested in electronics or interested in science or learning, what a wonderful little thing to have, even if it's an older kit like this. And thankfully, they never put those batteries in it, so it should just work perfectly fine. Everything looks like it's still nice and clean. And last but not least, I gotta tell you, old catalogs, they do sell. If you come across, 1970s, 80s, and even before, like way back to the 20s or 30s, old catalogs are just interesting and fun things to look through. If you are a set designer, if you are trying to figure out how people dressed and what they wore and what furniture looked like and sinks looked like, these are a great resource for recreating the past if you ever want to do that, or just to look at it and go, oh my goodness, I can't believe how much pattern in greens and earth tones they used to use. I've come across some of this stuff, these wagon wheel lamps out in people's houses, or the fake sort of Tiffany style shades, but you get a real sense of what was popular. And you can tell in 1976, Eaton's being a Canadian company here, Canada was all about the denim. Look at this. You got the mom with her denim jacket and her matching denim pants and her blue denim colored espadrilles. And she's got the popped collar with the massive collar, and she's even got the pearls, kind of a throwback. And the daughter, well, she's also got a denim vest, or denim, yeah, it looks like a vest maybe, and a denim pants and sort of this patchwork quilt sort of looking shirt and pant combo. Anybody out there remember having an outfit like that when they were little? And on the back, well, what do we got for the guys? More denim. We got denim vests and jackets, and man, oh man, it was all about the jeans. back in the day. There's your whole denim family. It's like, why would you need another fabric when you can be that happy wearing blue jeans all over yourself? But, oh, looks like somebody was going to do an order. They were. They're like, I'm having me some of them navy jeans and stuff. Oh, I guess that's just a sample maybe. Oh, hard to tell. Yeah, that's an example. Nope, they weren't doing an order. But fun little catalog, fun thing to look through. And if you ever come across them in your basement, don't throw them out. People do buy them. So that's it. My floor is cleaned up. You can walk around again. And just in time too, I'm gonna be opening up in about a half an hour. I've been here working on this for the last 2.5 hours, getting this stuff put away. Probably would have gone faster if I wasn't talking the whole time, but you know what? It's done now. Oh, forgot one thing. My car is full. Well, maybe I'll have to do that on a separate video because that's a complete other mess going on in my car. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching today's video, today's episode. If you're ever in the area, pop by the shop and come say hello. And subscribe because there's always something going on. We're out looking for stuff all the time, finding cool treasures and trying to inform you as we go. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and like the videos. And as always, guys, bye for now.